I will focus on what can we learn from what has happened before in terms of how we leverage this technology. Specifically, where will the opportunities come from an SME perspective. I also did something different this time around. So I said to my team, which is a team of young, very bright engineers that are busy playing around with this technology. I said, why don't we do something different? So let's not do the typical slide presentation. Could we actually just take all the engines that we have? Because AI is really about creating stuff and generate a whole lot of images that I can talk to on this topic instead of doing a slide deck. So the first one they produced is an avatar. This is actually collecting a number of data points. And you can see that it's not yet there because it attempted to take my face and put it into an avatar using a set of AI tools. Just shows that the technology will evolve over a period of time, but we must give it a chance. But let me start here. The scene of the crime is 1995. I remember the moment very well because this was my first interaction with the personal computer. This was at Fred University, and I walked into the computer lab and I saw this thing, a personal computer, for the first time in my life. And it was actually to do a class where we needed to log onto the internet. And back then, you had to go there around 4 o'clock to start the machine. You can relate, my sister, I can see. So start the machine and then you go to the canteen while the modem is busy dialing up. When you can't relate, you're 2000. When the machine is coming up and 2 hours later, the page started loading and coming up. And this was the screen, Netscape. And I remember the excitement that I had at that time. That when I got to my rest, and the sponsor Telkom will appreciate this, I did a reverse call. I did a reverse call back home to explain to my grandmother this experience that I had at the computer lab with my first interaction with the personal computer. And I must tell you, back then, I didn't have appreciation about how much this technology was going to change our lives. And then this followed. It didn't always start here, and you'll see in the next slide. But it was the combination of the ability to connect everyone using the internet. But what really made it take off was when human beings were able to carry it with them everywhere. But we didn't always get to the smartphone. And the point I'm making in what we can learn is that there was an evolution. I can share with you that I used to own one of these ones. And I remember very well because back then not everybody had airtime, and I just been gifted with that brick. And I was with my friends at the restaurant, and obviously I wanted to get attention of the other people in the restaurant that I was receiving a call. So I asked one of my friends to go to one of those Telkom public phones with the card to phone me so the phone can ring. And it took me a while to actually answer the phone to make the point that I was owning the phone. But the point I want to make is that the evolution in the smartphone technology coupled with the evolution in the way human beings actually interacted with the internet. A combination of these two things, if I summarize, what did they really do to mankind? Is they simply changed patterns of consumption. That is simply what they did. They changed the way society consumes. And at the back of that, and because I'm speaking at an SME gathering, I'm hoping that we can use this inspiration to learn how industries disappeared when this magic happened. And if you are in the room and you can recognize any of these things, you are in the right conference. Industries disappeared because of this technology. But perhaps the most important thing that happened can be explained by this chart, which is really the market cap of the top 10 companies in 1999 compared to 2019. You look at that evolution in 10 years, except for Microsoft, which was really the outlier, which managed to actually change and evolve over time. You had a lot of general